She is taking on Arizona's powerful Republican governor. We're talking about Kari Lake.
She's already nabbed the much sought after support of former President Trump. Kari Lake also taking on China, writing, quote, more and more leaders are being exposed as pawns for the Chinese communist regime. As governor, I will immediately cut all ties with the CCP.
And Kari Lake joins us now. Kari, great to have you here. Tell us what you mean. I mean, most of us think that China, I know they have a relationship in the United States with certain politicians, but you're making it sound like this is pretty serious.
Well, it is. And I should say I haven't yet received president's endorsement. I'm looking forward to receiving it and sure hope I do, as I've had the opportunity to meet with President Trump and I've interviewed him on multiple occasions. So fingers crossed, I hope it's forthcoming. But let's talk about the CCP, because thank God President Trump really opened our eyes to how serious of a threat they were, because for so long our political elite was actually making backroom deals with the Chinese communist regime and acting like Russia was the big problem, right? Well, now we find out, and now we know, thanks to President Trump, that it is indeed the communist Chinese regime that is the most dangerous threat to our nation and really, I believe, the world. And we know that we've had governors and even local officials making deals with them for a long time. I'm actually running against somebody who has made deals with them and has been very, I guess I could say, pro-CCP during his time as a lobbyist with ASU. And he's running for governor. And I don't think we can afford to put somebody else who's pro-CCP in the governor's office here in Arizona. We don't want that.
Yeah,
Kari,
I know one of
reason.
Go ahead.
Well, the CCP is the reason we're dealing with this virus, this pandemic that has cost Arizona billions of dollars and cost our country so much harm.
Yeah, I also wanted to ask you, because I know you wanted to talk about the situation going on at the border and what is out of control right now. Also, we received word by this latest Associated Press report that flights are taking off and they're flying some of these Haitians that are there into Tucson, Arizona, amongst some other places.
It's unbelievable what they're doing. It's adding insult to injury to the people of Arizona and frankly, all of the border states. Tucson, city officials there just put $2 million to rent out an entire hotel to deal with sick people coming across our border illegally, and they're putting them up in hotels because they have COVID. We have people who are Americans who aren't even getting good treatment, and we're paying to take in COVID patients. This is unbelievable. And now flying Haitians into Tucson. We've got Arizona chosen as the top spot to fly Afghan refugees in. The people of Arizona cannot take it anymore. They're irate over the policies that our elected officials have allowed to happen that hurt the people of Arizona, and they don't want it. And our elected officials aren't listening to them. And that's part of the reason I'm running, because our elected officials for far too long have gotten into office, and on day one, they owe all these favors to their political cronies and their big dollar donors, and they never care about the issues that really mean something to the people of this great state of Arizona.
Yeah, Kari, I'm sure as a former journalist, you've covered what's gone on at the border, including the cities affected by letting illegal immigrants into our country. Can you talk a little about that, about the effects it has and why it's so important to stop that flow of illegals?
You know, for so many years, 27 years, I've been covering Arizona, and I remember when the border wall was basically a piece of barbed wire. For so many years, that was what we had, preventing people from coming in, and that's why for so long we had a flow of illegal immigrants. And President Trump came on the scene and said, without a country, or without a border, we are not a country. Without a border, we are not a country. And Joe Biden came into office immediately and took President Trump's policies, which were working brilliantly, the best I'd ever seen in covering Arizona border issues for nearly 30 years. Joe Biden comes in, and on day one, he rips that policy away and basically hands over all control of our borders to the cartels that are causing so much problem in Mexico. Now they're in control of our border. So what we have right now is a full-blown crisis that was preventable. And Joe Biden needs to put Donald Trump's plan back in action. He can change the name of it if he's got an ego problem with it. But President Trump's policy was working. It was keeping the drugs out. it was keeping people who shouldn't be here out, and it was protecting Arizona. And we need that now more than ever.
Kari Lake, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck to you.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Heather.
Thank you. Well, before we go to break, let's check